Let's welcome in Louisiana Congressman, House Majority Leader Steve Scalise. Good morning to you, Leader. Now, I recall back during the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act during the first term that a lot of people complained because they got a smaller refund. They thought that was what their taxes were. You guys avoided that this time with the One Big Beautiful Bill, and in honor of President's DoorDash delivery, seems like you supersized refunds this time around.
Yeah, it's a happy meal for everybody in America. And we made sure, Secretary Chavez DeRima just talked about some of those great numbers we're seeing. I've been out all around the country, and you hear workers everywhere. And look, today's tax day. Just a week ago, I was at a meeting with a whole lot, over 100 shift workers out on a deep water rig in the Gulf of America where they produce great American energy for our country. And they were asking me about the no tax on overtime. And of course, I asked the workers there, I said, how many of you work overtime? Almost every hand went up. And then I said, how many of you have filed your taxes? Only one person raised their hand. And I said, next week, I said, go home this weekend, file your taxes. And I said, and when you do it, you're probably going to do it twice because you think you made a mistake. It's not a mistake. You're getting real money back. The average worker is getting $3,400 back from the federal government. This is a tax season you are going to look forward to filing because you're getting real money back because of what we did working with President Trump to deliver great tax relief for working families.
Yeah, finally, tax day is a happy day again. So what's next on your priority list to build on these tax cuts that are happening, putting more money back in average Americans' wallets and keeping the economy really moving in the right direction?
Yeah, we have a lot more things that we're working on to get the economy humming even more. I mean, look, we've got real permitting reform bills, and might not sound real sexy, but if you build anything in America, roads, bridges, houses, you want to build a pipeline to move energy to lower people's costs, it's almost impossible to get the permit. It might take you 10 years to get a permit that should take 2 years at most. And so we're working to streamline that process. We're also working on more bills to go after fraud. One thing that angers people the most, and it should, you work really hard, maybe two workers, 2 jobs a day. You look at the great lady that went to the White House and delivered on DoorDash to President Trump yesterday. And, you see these workers and they're working multiple jobs. Right. And then they're watching people stealing billions of dollars. What we saw in Minnesota. Now we're uncovering in other states like California. And so we're going to be moving more bills to allow us to identify fraud even more, to go after it, to increase penalties. So if somebody steals your tax dollars while you're working hard, they're stealing your money, they need to pay a heavy price. And I think everybody gets that. Almost everybody will vote for it. Democrats right now, for whatever reason, are defending the fraudsters. We'll let them because America needs to see that too.
So, Leader, today I know we're talking a lot about the good things that Congress did with the One Big Beautiful Bill, but there have been some negative headlines with Congress. You had the resignations of Eric Swalwell and Tony Gonzalez just yesterday. There's word that there might be at least 1 or 2 other members from both parties that are either expelled or resign in the weeks ahead. What do you see happening, especially with the 2 that are still out there upcoming? Are we going to see 2 more people leaving Congress?
Well, the Ethics Committee is working through both of those cases. And one, with the Democrat from Florida, found that she was committed massive corruption. Again, stealing taxpayer money. And they found her guilty, but they just haven't gone to the penalty stage. They're doing that this week, in fact. It's going to be a public hearing. You can watch it. And I think a lot of people will be watching it to see what they recommend. Maybe they recommend expulsion. I don't know. That's up to the Ethics Committee. They're also investigating another Republican member, but ultimately that's what the job of the Ethics Committee is, and clearly they're doing the job seriously. We also swore in a new member last night, Clay Fuller from Georgia, Republican member replacing Marjorie Taylor Greene after that special election. Clay's a wonderful man. He had his whole family with him. 2 beautiful kids were on the floor with him while he got sworn in. So yeah, there's some members who did look. Swalwell was leading candidate for governor California last week. Today, he's no longer a member of Congress. I mean, we're not going to play games. I mean, you cross the line, there is no tolerance and there's accountability. But there's also really good people, just like Clay yesterday, who got sworn in as a new member of Congress, coming up here to help us fight to get this country back on track. And frankly, the lion's share of the members I serve with really have that same kind of love and passion for this country as we celebrate 250 years of this great nation.
Leader Scalise, always great having you with us. Thank you so much for taking the time this morning.
Great being with you. Go file your taxes. You're going to get money back.
Yes,
Get it done.
absolutely.
Thanks to Republicans. Every Democrat voted no, by the way.
That's
on that
right.
bill.
Worth noting.
All right.
Thank you.